I think they're finally used to it in our place.
Wolverine cosplay. I'm Batman.
Thank you very much. You scared the crap out of me.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I got a good one for you today. This is my Wolverine Wested jacket that I've had for years and years and years. I absolutely adore this jacket, but one thing that has bugged me since I bought it is the color. We're going to zoom in on it now. It's got this weird, like, Wested calls it a weathered look. It's basically the look that Wolverine had while I was walking away and the helicopter blew up. But there was dust all over the jacket when that happened. And for the rest of the movie, this jacket is a lot darker than that, and that has always bugged the crap out of me. Now, it feels fantastic. It looks fantastic. I love everything about this jacket, other than the color. So today, we're going to give it the Indiana Jones treatment, where we are going to use EcoFlow Water Stain, which I've already used on three different Indiana Jones jackets, and it has worked beautifully on every single one. The catch with this one is the jacket isn't all one color. So if I get any of it on this, it's going to be ruined, which is what has kept me from doing it up to this point. But we're going to attempt it today. So I'm not going to show you the entire video because I've already got a full video on my treatment of the Indy jacket. But my plan is to just cut this sponge so that it has a nice sharp corner on one side, basically like that, so I can get in between these stripes. And I'll be putting a towel down over the stripes to cover them up. And I'm really, really hoping this works. So this is going to be a labor of love, and I'm going to be going very, very slowly to make sure I don't make any mistakes. And I will get back with you guys on the finished product. Alright guys, so I wanted to give you an update on the jacket. It is far from complete, but I've ran into an awful lot of issues, and so I want to address some of those for those of you that are thinking about undertaking this project. First off, the jacket is looking absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what I was hoping for when I started this project. I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic. That's the good news. The bad news is, well, there's a lot of bad news, so let's get started. It's going to take a ton of this water stain to make this jacket work. The leather on this ended up being very, very porous, and I had a half bottle of this left. The first half I was able to dye 2 Indiana Jones jackets with it. This one, half the bottle, did half of this jacket. And I've still got the other half to go, along with a ton of touch-up work, because it's just soaking up so much of the dye. I've already put multiple hours into this project. I could have done 2 Indy jackets in the amount of time I've spent on this jacket so far, and like I said, it's only half done. This is the front half. Haven't even started the back half yet, so obviously this is what it looked like before, but you can see how porous that leather is compared to what it looks like afterwards. But I gotta say, I'm really, really happy with the results. These stripes were a huge frickin' pain. What I did was I took a sponge and then cut a point in it so that I could get that point in between the stripes. And that worked. It was very, very difficult, but it did work. I've also been using a brush with a tiny, tiny bristle on the end of it to try and get some of the more fine areas. Now the problem with a brush is once you dip it in the dye, you are prone to splatter. And if it splatters on the stripes in any of those areas, you could be in some hot water. So you got to be really, really careful with the brush. But for these areas in here, like right in there, this brush was really, really handy for those areas. And then for like the collar here, where you've got half of it dark and half of it light, I was able to finagle that brush in there and get this section. Now it sure as hell wasn't easy, but I've made it this far without any major blunders. I did get a small drop on this stripe over here, and I was able to remove it with this, some nail polish remover. I would highly, highly recommend investing in some of this before you start this project. And all I did was I smeared a little bit on my finger and then just rubbed the spot where I made a little splatter with my finger, and it came right off. I wiped it with a towel, and then on we went. So yeah, I think I'm going to be able to finish this and have it be relatively flawless when it's done. However, I suspect it's going to take an entire bottle of this to finish this project. So be prepared for that, and you're definitely going to want some of this. And you're going to want a tiny, tiny little brush like this one. I could not have done this without these tools. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, a bunch of sponge scraps that you'll need to cut down to triangle sections. Now, this section here, I basically just used it like a paintbrush to get these bigger areas in here, and that was no problem at all. But yeah, this is going to be a very time-consuming project. At this point in time, I've run out of the stain, so I had to order some more. But be prepared to spend, 4 hours on this bad boy, maybe a little bit longer. But boy, I'm really, really happy with the results so far. This is exactly the way I wanted the jacket to look, and the leather feels great. I mean, you want a jacket that looks like this from Wested, you're going to have to do this work, because I don't think they offer the Wolverine jacket in any other leathers. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll give you another update later. Alright, so I think the jacket is finally done. After my last clip, I went back through the jacket and basically soaked the entire thing. This thing just soaks up dye like nobody's business. So I went through and redid the entire thing and just piled it on there. And the results speak for themselves. At this point, the jacket looks fantastic. It looks exactly like I wanted it to look. But that being said, this is not a project for the faint of heart. I probably have 10 hours put into this jacket at this point. You could have done it in a lot less if you would have just soaked it immediately. I mean, just really, really saturate the heck out of this thing, and you might be able to get it in one pass. And then, of course, the sections with the stripes and the collar and all that add to the load time. And the last time, when I was just about finished with it, I accidentally spilled the bottle of acetone and got it all over this shoulder, which, yeah, that didn't work out very well for me. But as you can see now, it looks incredible. It's not quite as soft as it was before, now that it's been soaked with so much dye. It's not quite as supple, but that will probably change once I've worn it for a little bit. And of course, we'll take a peek at the back real quick. I did fudge on the jacket in one spot. If you'll take a peek under the flap right here, at the very bottom there, I didn't see the need to go in there with a little paintbrush and try and get all that. That's just asking for even more trouble, especially with the way it is right here in the corner, where you just really can't, there's no way of turning it inside out or anything. You have to stick the brush all the way in there, and I just felt that that was a recipe for disaster and not really something that needed to be done to the jacket. There's no way that that's going to show when it's being worn, so I figured what the heck, I would just leave it the way it is. Another nice little tip is to zip the sleeves so that you have no way of accidentally getting some on the tan color that's in there. So if you just zip them, you can just get this whole thing with a sponge real quick. So that helped a lot. And then I actually used a paintbrush for the back seam right here. I actually ran the paintbrush right down the seam there to get it at it a little bit better. But yeah, would I do this project again? With how awesome the jacket looks now, yes, I think I would. I did not set aside nearly enough time to get this jacket done, so that part was really annoying. I was expecting to finish this whole thing in, maybe 2 hours, and that certainly did not happen. You're also going to want to make sure, this is my second bottle of EcoFlow water stain, because I used the entire remnants of the first bottle, and there's about half a bottle left in this thing. So I pretty much put an entire bottle of that onto this jacket, so be prepared for that as well. But yeah, I would do this project again just because I love the way it came out. I mean, this is the jacket right here that I've been dreaming about since I originally bought it from Wested, and now it looks exactly the way that I wanted to. Just be prepared for a bit of a workload if you're going to take on this project. Anyway, that's all I got for now. If you like this kind of stuff, you can support us at our Patreon page, patreon.com/CaptainWesticle. And we also have a Facebook page if you want to check us out there. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a great day.